Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to see the use of exception code in RF device. So I have selected SPPB exception code for our topic. Let me go to my next slide where we will discuss about the use of exception code SPPB in our business context. Okay. So SPPB stands for split warehouse task and new destination bin for remaining quantity. And where we can use this, let's say we did the goods receipt of 5 quantity. System will automatically create the warehouse task, or you will manually create the warehouse task for 5 quantity, but user want to split the 5 quantity. So they want to put 3 quantity in one bin and the remaining 2 quantity in a separate bin. So in that case, user can use this SPPB exception code. And in order to proceed for the SPPB exception code, it is mandatory to do the config beforehand. So for that, we need to follow this SPRO node path where we need to go to the define exception code node, which will be under your cross process setting and exception code. Similarly, there will be another config where we need to set up the things before we proceed for the SPPB. Let me go to the SAP screen and show you this config node first, and later I will show you the use of SPPB in RF device for a particular delivery. So let me go to SPRO node first. SPRO, need to click here. Under supply chain extended warehouse management, under cross process setting, we need to go inside exception handling, because these are the part of exceptional handling process, and we need to double click on define exception. So we just need to enter our exception code and related warehouse number. So in general, SAP is providing dummy warehouse number 0001. We can directly copy paste the exception code to our warehouse. That is also fine. So if you copy it, then system will automatically copy all the config setup for this particular exception code to our warehouse. Else we can manually define the exception code, also manually create and assign the exception code to our warehouse. So for a moment, let me go to our warehouse number. 3001 is my warehouse number and SPPB is my exception code. So here you can see this is the description, it's the standard SAP description. And if I go and double click on define exception code, so I have already explained about the business context. So on what context we can use the exception code? We can use this during the putaway process. That's why the business context here is TPT, putaway. And there is steps, that is called execution step. On what execution step we can use this? So we are getting this, we are going to use the SPPB at the time of put away process and during the period of destination scanning, during the time of destination scanning, and we are going to use it in the RF device. So for that we need to select the execution step as 06, because 0102 that is for desktop, and we are dealing with product warehouse task, so that's why we are applying the exception code on the target data. So I have selected 06 here. So this is the setup we need to define if we are executing the exception code in RF, and this is the setup we need to define if we are executing the exception code activity in SAP GUI screen. Okay, so in my case I will proceed with this second line, and let me double click on the maintain process parameters. So here we need to maintain the internal process parameter, which is SPPB again, and this is the internal process code. This is a mandatory step we need to maintain. And here if you see, there is a field called exception code profile. So let's say in your warehouse there are a lot of warehouse operatives they're working, and you want to allow certain exception codes to a warehouse operative. So in that case we need to define a exception code profile first, and then we can do that by going to this maintain exception code profile, and in that exception code profile we need to maintain those user IDs, and we need to assign that exception code profile here. Then only that particular user can able to access this SPPB exception code. Currently I have not maintained it, so that everyone within this 3001 warehouse, whoever the users, they can able to use this SPPB. But this exception code profile gives the control who can use which exception code. Clear? So let in my next video maybe I will create a exception code profile, and I will show you how generally it works. Okay. So let me go to the delivery adjustment in case of differences. So here like again we are not reducing the delivery quantity, so that's why this field is completely empty. This I will explain in my next video for a separate exception code where we are going to maintain these details here. And there is few things like maintain follow on actions. For example, we are applying the exception code during the exceptional situation, and the moment we are applying this exception code, if we maintain this workflow, then system will automatically trigger a mail to the warehouse supervisor. So this is one of the follow on activity we can maintain. But currently in my system it is not maintained. We are not using any information to the warehouse supervisor. They are pulling a report from warehouse monitor itself. Then this is maintain follow on action of status management. For example, we say like we are applying the exception code in certain bins. For example, in some exceptional situations, we do not find the stock while doing the picking. So that bin should be blocked for physical inventory. So in STM action ID, we can select the status of the bin, and we can set the bin transaction, business transaction for that bin, so that after the use of exception code, that bin status will change to blocked status. So we can also achieve that thing by this status management concept. Similarly, follow on action, we can in alert we can create a alert to the in the system. But I have not used this is most of a advanced situation where we need to maintain these things. Yeah, so mostly your maintain exception code profiles which is required. So for my warehouse I have already created a maintain exception code profile. So if I assign the users to this maintain exception code profile and assign this exception code profile to here, then those users can able to use this SPPB. And let me also show you that where we are assigning the users to the exception code profiles. Wait a second, let me go to the initial screen under logistic, under setting. Yeah, assign user to the exception code profile. So for now, this is our warehouse 3001. There is no users currently assigned. There is one more exception code profile for 002. There is no users maintained here. So we can just click on change and we can create a new entry, and I will assign my user ID here. So when we maintain this exception code there, system will only give the access to use the SPPB for this particular user. Yeah. Again, let me open it again. Double click. See, so we can enter multiple users here. It's not like only a single user can use. Okay. So this is the node where we need to define all these things. And again, we just need to go back, and I'll just show you the business context setup, which is actually SAP standard. But yeah, then coming to our steps, TPT is the business context process. And inside TPT, if we go 06, that is our execution step. And here you can see SPPB is assigned. And like I said, here we are not doing any changes to the quantity at the delivery level, because we are receiving the 5 quantity anyway to different locations, different bins. So different, no difference categories should be linked here. And assign STM action. So like I explained in that node where the bin status we need to change to block if the product is not available in that bin, if we are encountering such situations. So for that we need to maintain this action ID, and here we need to provide the action ID as. So here we are dealing with put away. Let's say you are unable to find the product in the picking location. So in that case, you will select 03 source storage bin. The status change will be at the storage bin. So whatever the source storage bin details for that particular bin, system will change the status for that bin. Okay. Then assign internal exception codes. So list and escaped. So like I explained before in my previous video, escaped we are using to skip the verification fields. So if the barcode is damaged or system is unable to read the barcode, in that case user can use the escaped exception code and they ruled out the system. Okay. So without delay, let me proceed for the RF execution, and I have already created a delivery for our testing. Let me show you this. So there is one line item for 5 quantity and it is a non-batch non-serialized product. You can see it from the description, and the moment the delivery is created and if it is meant for EWM side location, then it will immediately distribute to the EWM side. And let me open this delivery in the EWM T code, and we need to provide this delivery under logistic execution delivery. Yeah, yeah. So we are going to use the exception code during the time of put away. Let me complete the GR first, and you can able to see the GR is completed. And once we complete the GR, the next activities, either system will create the task automatically if the PPF action is triggered. If the if the creation is done by a manual process, then user need to go to here and they need to click on warehouse task, and they need to select the line item and click on create plus save button. But in my case the task will create automatically, so that's why let me go to this display warehouse task and show you the task. Can execute the put away process by using this document number, or we can also execute the put away process by using the warehouse order number. So let me go to the RF simulation screen provided by SAP. So this is the initial screen where we need to go to the manual selection and selection by warehouse request, and we'll provide the warehouse request document number, and I'll just select PDI because we are dealing with inbound process. And this is the source scanning details. We are going to use the SPPB in the destination scanning, and that's why we just the warehouse operative needs to pick the product first from this GR zone, or in our case it is excess return, and he needs to particularly scan the barcode of this product, and he needs to pick this 5 quantity on his trolley and hit on it. Then system will automatically propose where to put the 5 quantity into the bin, and let's say warehouse operative finds that only 3 quantity can be accepted in this storage bin because other products are already lying, and in that case he can only put 3 quantity and the remaining 2 quantity he needs to put in some other area, so that he will use the exception code as SPPB. So system is currently giving this error that exception code SPPB cannot be used. If you remember, I have assigned my user ID in the exception code profile. So because of that, it is not accepting me. So let me go back to that um, screen and remove my user ID from this exception code profile, because if I assign myself in this particular exception code profile, then in the config I have to assign this particular exception code profile against the SPPB, otherwise system will not allow me to use this exception code. Okay, if I maintain this in there, then it will allow me to do that, but let me remove this for now. Let me click here and delete it and save it. So in my next video I will use this exception code profile in config, and I will execute one scenario in front of you. Okay. So now that I have removed my user ID, I also saved it right here. And let me go back here. I have to come back again, otherwise system will not refresh the backend. I'll click on F7, and again I have to click on warehouse request number and 34. I will enter 3423, then PDI again. And if you remember, we already completed the scanning of source data. That's why system is giving the details from the destination scanning screen. So system will automatically show you the details from where it saved your last activity. Okay, so here let me use SPPB again, because last time we got error message. So I will just enter SPPB and hit enter. Tada. So you can see here the system is giving you a new screen where system is actually asking how much quantity. So I can provide, let's say, 3 quantity, and after providing quantity we need to hit enter. So suddenly you see the destination quantity initially was 5 and now it is 3. And let me first put this product in this bin. So I'll scan the product, I'll put the 3 quantity in this particular bin 1. And once you hit enter, what system will do, system will check the available bin to put this 2 remaining quantity in the location. Okay, so here you can see after hitting enter, system just determine that, and it is proposing a new bin automatically. Let's say you don't want to put this bin in this location, then you can use the chbd. If you remember, I have explained this in my previous video where we can change the bin destination. So again you can use the chbd in this exception code, and you can hit enter manually a new bin. But that you can test it on yourself, and please let me know through the comment section if that worked for you or not. But make sure that chbd exception code should be configured beforehand. Okay, so let me proceed with this thing. First I will put this remaining 2 quantity in this bin 8, and once I hit enter, my put away activity is completed. Okay, so let's go back to the delivery to see the status, and also we will check the warehouse task, how that is looking. Yeah, and here we can see there are 3 tasks created with the same number. Initially there are only 1 entries, and we in the first entry we just normally scan the source details, so that's why only source details are coming in the first entry. In the second entry, we in the second scanning process, the destination scanning process, we applied the exception code which thus split the quantity to 3. That's why you can see the source target quantity coming as 3, and where we put the product in bin 1. And then for the remaining quantity, the remaining 2 quantity, the exception code is auto applied, because once you enter the exception code it will also apply it for the remaining quantity, and system automatically determine this bin 8. And yeah, so this is confirmed. And also we can use SPPB in SAP GUI screen. So let me know if you want a video how to use the SPPB exception code in the GUI screen while confirming the warehouse order. Yeah, I will prepare a separate video. So that's all about how to use the exception code SPPB in this business context. If such scenarios warehouse people are facing, then in that case we can use SPPB. Okay, and as always, a warehouse monitor screen we can able to extract whatever the exception codes that are applied by going to the document node, and we can extract the warehouse task, and there we will find out what are the exception codes we used. Okay, for the moment, this is the end of the video, and I will recommend you to go through the previous videos that I uploaded already, because every video I am uploading it has a link to the previous one, so that you will not miss any one detail what I'm explaining about this RA process and all. Yeah, once again, thank you all, and we will see again in our next video. Bye.